Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk about Conquest, the last argument of kings, because they just had an amazing reveal show on one of their many happy hours that they've been doing, and this one showed off a bunch of models that are going to be coming out in the first half of 2022, so January to June. I do want to say first up that the way Parabellum Wargames and Conquest have gone about their community and showing stuff and letting us know what's coming, letting us know what they're working on, let us know what they're thinking with these hobby hangouts, and the couple that I've paid attention to has been absolutely amazing. This is really top quality community interaction for a company, and I really enjoy it. They've been nothing but a pleasure to work with as myself, a content creator dealing with them. They've been absolutely fantastic to chat to and to talk to get information out of, to help get stuff happening on the channel. And they do put out a really fun game and a couple of games as well. So today what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about exactly what was revealed in the show. We're going to talk about the models, and then there's one other thing besides that I really want to talk about, in that they're doing something with one of the two game systems. But without further ado, let's get cracking in. Let's check out the game system first, I reckon. And so the first thing I want to talk about is that they are making a 1.5 edition, or rather a 2.0 edition of First Blood. First Blood is Conquest's skirmish style game, so the great thing about Conquest minis is you get two games for one set of minis. This reminds me very much of like playing Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry and Warhammer Age of Sigmar, where I can use my same minis over both games. This is just a fantastic thing for any games company to do. If you have a mass battle game, make a skirmish game underneath it that's both interesting and allows you to use those same models. This is a great way of getting people through the gateway, because it requires less cost of entry to get you into this first part of the game, and then you can go into the main rank and flank or larger scale game after that. I really like First Blood. It's got some cool little ingenuities about it. But for me, I'll be really interested to see what they do with V2. They didn't get too much into it, more than talking that it is going to be a really big redo of the system. They've learned a lot and they want to give it a nice big refresh over, because people have been really enjoying it. So I'm really excited to see where we go with First Blood from there. There's not much more to say on it. They didn't reveal any rules for it, but really excited to see what they're going to do with the game system. And so after that, we got the big reveal that we're all looking forward to. People were asked what they wanted to see, whether we wanted to see the city-states, Old Dominion, or the Weavers, and people did vote for the Old Dominion. And so Old Dominion is exactly what we're going to see. We got revealed a good portion of a range for the army. This is just really cool. These are like weird Byzantine Romanesque cross undead army. It's so cool. And so pictured here, first of all, we've got the giant bone golems at the back. We're assuming these are going to be like the giant sort of monstrous infantry for the army. Very similar to the flesh golems and stuff like that from the spires. And then we've got the Old Dominion Strategos and the Old Dominion Hierodikon. I'm probably butchering those names. Man, they make some tough names. But the like Roman Byzantine aesthetic on top of like undead is a really cool look. I really like these models a lot. What are people's thoughts on the Old Dominion? Because we did get to see some more in the form of these Cataphractoi, a cavalry unit for the Old Dominion. I like just looking at these, you can see the undead horses and the undead skeleton faces. It's just such a cool look. Really nicely heavily armored infantry. Apparently these kits are posable, so you can have those lances down in like the forward sort of charging motion, which would be really cool for like running larger blocks of these. We can have your front rank with their lances down and your back rank with their lances up. Always looks cool when you've got units sitting like that. But another really cool unit shown off the Old Dominion, alongside also the last of our sort of Roman-esque themed part of the army. We've got the legionaries, so we've got some cool shield and spearmen there, and of course the swordsman down the thing with the Old Dominion Praetorian Guard. I mean, man oh man, do these units look amazing. These are one of the dual kits available, which is really cool. I love seeing dual kits across games. It really just makes for some interesting ability to convert and to build and get exactly the miniatures that you want, but these look really sweet. And then we've got the Old Dominion Chiliarch there as well at the front. Another really cool minion model. Another one of the fantastic character miniatures for the range. There's just so much cool stuff. But if that wasn't enough for the Old Dominion, we got the Mori. Now these are really cool, like ghostly sort of apparition style undead creatures. They look absolutely awesome. And apparently these are going to be the first wizard unit in the game. So that could be really cool. Magic's definitely something that's interesting within Conquest. And having a full magic using unit is going to be an interesting thing to bring to the game. But we also got another version of these creatures as well, in the form of the Keres. These are the more ranged looking ones. You can see they've got these giant magical bolts out of them. They look really cool. The hoods and stuff on them I really dig. I like the sort of disfigured arms you can see on some of the front ranks and stuff like that. Really solid looking models. I'm really looking forward to getting some Old Dominion on the channel. We've got our Nords, our 100 Kingdoms, our Spires all currently on the paint desk, so it should be not too long and we should have some Conquest battle reports for people to get excited about, and as soon as I'm able to get some Old Dominion on the channel, we most certainly will be. But what do you all think of the Old Dominion? That was everything that's shown off. That is not the entire range. This is just everything for the Old Dominion that is coming out at the start. We're obviously waiting to see what like a monster for the army would certainly look like. And speaking of monsters, we have this amazing monster, the Hellbringer Drake for the Dweghom. I mean, look at this with its giant techno-sorcery cannons on its side. It looks absolutely fearsome. One of the coolest miniatures I've seen for Conquest. The Dweghom are one of those ones that, in honesty, when I first looked at them, it didn't really appeal to me, but the more and more I start looking at Dweghom, the more I start to like what I see from this race of fire-infused dwarves that exist within Conquest. But if this wasn't cool enough to get your thoughts on it, take a look at this one. And a rendering of a wizard on top of it as well. This miniature just looks absolutely amazing with those chains and stuff. Really excited to see how they pull this off with a sculpt. It looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. They also mentioned too, if you wanted to include multiple of this monster, they do have different head options as you saw on the previous slide. So they've got options to make them actually look distinctly different than each other, which is really cool. I mean, that's always important. You can see here, this is the closed head where we had the open mouth beforehand, so really nice to have just those little things that allow you to have variation within your monsters. But of course, you could have 4 of these monsters and they would all look different, because you could have 2 with the wizard on top with each head, and then 2 with the warrior on top with each head as well. Then got the Magic Retinue as well. Normally these are released with one of the limited edition models, and now you can get them separate, which is pretty sweet. 3 really cool resin miniatures. And while we're in the discussion of resin, they did mention that a lot of their stuff will be moving to plastic. They'll be having plastic characters and all of that stuff for all their armies, which I think is just fantastic. We get caught up in, I guess, GW space a lot, where we think plastic miniatures is, you know, the norm, where for all these smaller companies and other games out there, it generally isn't the normal. So to see them going to plastic miniatures and keeping such high quality is definitely something fantastic and should be commended. It's a really awesome step to see for Conquest Last Argument of Kings to be taking that step. And continuing on with the Dweghom, we got the Menomancer Apprentice, a cool little, I guess, rune inscriber or whatever he is. What is it? Such as the prestige and of the position of hierarch, that even the eldest Menomancers begrudgingly conceive that his deeds must be recorded. So pretty cool. Another really cool miniature, another character for the Dweghom. Interested to see what this one does on the tabletop. And then we got some renderings of some new weapon options and variations with some wardens and initiates here. We got the shield wall warriors here, the 2 model, like one holding a giant shield, one with a pike behind, is a really cool thing. And then the dual axe wielding wardens. This is just some really cool stuff. Hopefully we'll see some more of this stuff for Dweghom in the future. These are definitely getting worked on at the moment. I'm excited to see where we go with them. We then went into talking about how they're going to repackage the faction starter sets and the faction tasters. So they'll no longer be calling them like various different things. There'll be, you know, starter set and a faction taster, which is meant to be for First Blood. they're just rebranding all their starting sets to really just have, I guess, a good point of entry, really clear, concise, where it's sort of meant to be, where it's sort of meant to lead you as well. They also talked about like having these tables to help out friendly local game stores and any of their, I guess, people who are talking about the game to sort of instruct people on how to like collect. Do you want to add heavy? Do you want to add light? Do you want to add medium? How do you want to fix your force from your starter set? So they're talking about actually having some community support there to talk about how to add stuff to your force, which is really cool. I really like this. I love the new packaging. It looks really, really solid and really nice and clear. I like miniatures with cool artwork behind them. I think this is the best way to do packaging. First of all, you get the artwork behind where you really get a cool look at the models, but you also get to see the models as well. And of course, we've got Old Dominion stuff coming for all these starter boxes, which is pretty awesome. And so then we got shown some mounted squires for the 100 Kingdoms. This, for me, the big thing about this more than anything is that this is going to allow us to run full units of, well, full armies, sorry, of cavalry. These are supposed to be one of the, I guess, basic sort of troops that we can have alongside the restricted troops, and so being able to run full cavalry armies I think is a really awesome thing. Definitely when you make cool knight models like they have for the 100 Kingdoms, you're going to want to run all-night armies, and so this is good to see that this is going to become an option and something they've looked into making a viable army on the table. I'll be really happy to see a full knight army, and I will certainly be expanding my 100 Kingdoms with some of these mounted squires when they come out. And lastly, for the reveals, we saw some cool models for the Wadrun, the amazing orcs that ride dinosaurs. I mean, this is one of the coolest factions in 100 Kingdoms, and I think maybe my favorite, alongside the Nords at the moment, though I guess Old Dominion is really punching its way into that discussion. But this is the founder exclusive model, so it's just a really cool, unique model. You can just replace one of your Raptor riders with this. But a really nice model nonetheless. This for me is really cool. This is how you do limited edition models, by the way. Having them so that they don't become their own thing, they're just different sculpts and different options for units, is definitely the way to do limited edition models. It's cool, you can have your special model, but it doesn't affect the game in any way, which is extremely important when doing these. There's of course been some other games where at times we've seen limited edition models have some really good rules and be used quite a lot in competitive play that have maybe made them necessary for particular armies to perform well. So I like what they're doing with the Founders Exclusive range. And so we end this talking about the Wadrun, as mentioned, with the Aberration model. This is a really, really cool model. I like this, some sort of crazed Wadrun experimental warrior. Looks freaking awesome. Really, really cool model. I love those weird like hook cleaver things that he's got as weapons. It's really interesting sort of look to it. But this is really, really cool. So I look forward to seeing all these additions. What was your favorite reveal from this show? What did you like seeing? What is your favorite model? How do you feel about Old Dominion coming out as the next faction for Conquest Last Argument of Kings? I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. Well, that's the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And while you're at it, drop us a comment below in the comment section and let us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here at Cinderful Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the video's description to our Discord server. Lastly, we'd like to give a shout out to everyone who supports the channel via Patreon and YouTube members, and you can go help support the channel via Patreon and YouTube members as well and get access to, if you're a YouTube member, some of our awesome little gifts or get choice of what we're going to do for content on the channel. You can follow those links in the description of the video to Patreon and YouTube members, but a shout out to them all, our Patreons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lyle, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nielsen, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, and James Cater. And to our YouTube members as well, a special shout out to Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Aronya, Vinny, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, and Broken Chef. Lastly, I'd like to give a special shout out first of all to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel that you see here, and to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing work and the background work for our Discord server. Thank you both very much for all your help. That's it for today though, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.